Our oceans are home to thousands of marine species, such as fish, sharks, turtles, stingrays, whales, octopus, and dolphins. But beneath the surface of our oceans, a silent crisis unfolds, threatening the livelihood of these animals. Plastic, once praised for its modern convenience, has now become a devastating pollutant, threatening the fragile balance of crucial marine ecosystems. Plastic pollution. Ocean plastic pollution is the accumulation of synthetic plastic products on and below the surface of our oceans. Globally, plastic pollution covers around 40% of our ocean surfaces, but not all plastic within the ocean floats upon the surface. Some heavier plastics sink below the surface, while other plastics will start to break down into smaller pieces called microplastics that can end up floating throughout the ocean's waters and even mix with sediment on the sea floor. Some areas of the sea experience larger plastic clusters than others. These areas are called hotspots. The biggest hotspot in the world is found in the Great Pacific and covers an estimated surface area of 1.6 million square kilometres. This is an area twice the size of Texas or 3 times the size of France. Ocean plastic pollution occurs when rainwater, the wind, or extreme weather events carry mismanaged plastic from our land into our rivers, which eventually flow into our oceans. Most plastic that ends up in the ocean are single-use plastics, such as bottles, caps, shopping bags, cups, and straws. However, fishing equipment, farming materials, plastic packaging, and litter are also big contributors. Globally, it is estimated that over 1 million metric tons of plastic make its way into our oceans every year. In 2023, the 5 countries contributing the most to ocean plastic pollution were the Philippines, India, Malaysia, China, and Indonesia. The Philippines, the biggest contributor, is responsible for over 300,000 metric tons of plastic that make its way into our oceans every year. So, what happens after all this plastic ends up in the ocean? Well, thousands of marine animal species are killed every year from ingesting or getting entangled in the plastic. But let's take a look specifically at how 2 animal species are impacted. Sea turtles are an important species in ensuring the health of marine ecosystems, as they help maintain seagrass beds, which in turn provide habitat and feeding grounds for various marine species, like fish and crustaceans. However, plastic pollution threatens these crucial roles, as 52% of sea turtles have ingested plastic debris, including bags, balloons, and fishing lines. This ingestion can lead to internal injuries and death, reducing their population and leaving gaps in the ecosystems they support. Turtles also tend to become entangled in plastic waste, leading to restricted movement, injuries, and drowning. The more that plastic is entering our oceans, the more that our sea turtle populations are declining, jeopardizing the balance of marine ecosystems. Northern fulmars play a critical role in their own marine ecosystems by regulating populations of fish, squid, and crustaceans. Unfortunately, these birds are among the most affected by plastic pollution. In 2018, a study found that 93% of fulmars in the North Sea had ingested plastic, with an average of 31 pieces of plastic per bird. In the Canadian Arctic, this number was even higher, with over 95% of fulmars being found with plastic in their stomachs. This ingestion leads to digestive blockages, malnutrition, and sometimes death, directly impacting fulmar populations and their ability to maintain their ecological roles. Fulmars also inadvertently ingest microplastics, which further damage marine ecosystems and threaten the biodiversity they help support. However, hope is not lost for our marine animals. Currently, lots of things are being done to address ocean plastic pollution. Sweden, a world leader in ocean plastic pollution reduction, introduced the Waste-to-Energy program, which involves converting plastic waste into energy. Not only has this program reduced how much of the country's rubbish ends up in landfill, but it is creating a sustainable circular economy. Australia is following behind Sweden in working towards a sustainable circular economy through the National Plastic Plan in 2021. This plan involves banning export of unsorted mixed plastics, banning the supply of certain plastic items, encouraging businesses to use sustainable materials, and investing into recycling infrastructure by funding the development of new recycling locations and technologies. An example of this is a company called ULU.
ULU, I guess in a nutshell, is fermenting seaweed into an alternative for plastic that's good for the world. It's strong, it's light, it's waterproof, it's all the things that make plastic super useful, but it's also biodegradable, so it's going to break down at the end of its life. Because it's made from farm seaweed, it can also help to improve the health of our oceans.
Despite these actions made in Sweden, Australia and other countries all around the world to reduce ocean plastic pollution, there is still more that can be done. On a personal level, you can help to reduce plastic pollution by no longer using single-use plastics like bottles, caps, plastic straws and plastic cutlery. You can also avoid products that have excessive plastic packaging and plastics that cannot be recycled by checking the Australian recycling label on the product. Using reusable items like water bottles, shopping bags and coffee cups can help to avoid unnecessary waste production. Lastly, you can pick up any litter that you may see laying around to make sure that it doesn't end up in our rivers and consequently in our oceans. Through changing small habits in our daily lives, we can make a large impact on our communities, country, and planet. On a global level, countries should follow behind Sweden and work to form a sustainable circular economy. Countries should also invest into better waste management infrastructure, including recycling facilities and proper waste disposal systems to prevent plastic waste from entering our waterways. Establishing global standards for plastic waste management would also help to reduce ocean plastic pollution. Overall, we are already making great progress in eliminating ocean plastic pollution. So let's continue to work together to reduce it, until every last piece of plastic, until the very last straw has been removed from our oceans.